Hey guys, we are live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today I have returning guests coming back with me. I have the Carolina Thrifter. Casey is here. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's always a good time when I get to catch up with you and see how things are going in your neck of the woods. So, real quickly, man, just in case people don't know who you are, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and tell them what it is that you do.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, yeah, my name's Casey. I go by the Carolina Thrifter here on YouTube, and I'm a full-time reseller, selling mostly on eBay and some stuff on Facebook, Marketplace. But that's pretty much what I do for full-time living. I'm right here in the South Carolina coast near Charleston. It's a little city called Somerville. And yeah, I live pretty good, easy, happy life, doing the resale business. And I do YouTube videos on the side as well. Probably see like one video a week maybe from me. So that's it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, the thing is, Casey, you try to be humble, bro, but I watch your videos and you're hustling, bro. You're always in and out hustling, finding stuff. I saw you with those WWE action figures and, you're just always running around. You're just like, oh, I see a deal and you just swipe in there and grab it up, bro. So how many hours a week would you say that you work right now on your resale business and YouTube and all that?
I've backed up a little bit from YouTube. Like I just do that like one video a week. So YouTube hours is probably between 2 to 4 at max. And then reselling, I'll probably spend about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours a week. Depends on sourcing. I've been really, I've really figured this thing out a lot in the last few years on how to really create more profit, spend less time, like sourcing and making more money with doing my resale business. Like I try to use my time to my advantage. So not a lot of time anymore, like 4 or 5 hours a day, like max. So that's about it. Like I list 10 items a day. I do hold that on me. 10 items a day. Sourcing is like thrifting has been very like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, like twice a week maybe. And then yard selling pretty much from the hours at 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. I'm out there hunting down deals, always fishing the Facebook Marketplace for deals. So not a whole lot of time.
Yeah, let me give a quick shout out here to Harry Helmstone is in the chat. Says, hello, fellas. Hey, thanks for coming by and hanging out, Harry. If you guys in the chat have questions for our guest, you could drop it in the chat. So tell me, man, like, how does your schedule work with your routine? Because you have a wife and kids, you have a family as well. So do you like drop the kids off in the morning and then you do your shipping after that? Or tell me a little bit about how your schedule works right now.
Yeah, you pretty much hit it. I mean, so in the morning times, I'll get up. My wife's a nurse. She works 4 days a week now. So she used to work only 3. So I'm pretty much the care, giving the kids the rides to school. So in the morning, I'll start at 5:30 in the morning, waking up, got the laptop out, checking emails, checking eBay, taking offers, just doing a little bit of my meditation. I do have like a spiritual moment in the mornings too, where I spend time reading the Bible and saying my prayers and have my little morning devotion. And then I do get the kids up about 6:30 and get them ready. And I go out to take them to school. My daughter goes to daycare still. And then I'm usually got all that done by 7:30. For about the time I'll go to the gym, I spend more time in the gym now. So I'll probably about an hour and a half in the gym. And then after that, I come home, I package up all my packages. Usually I got about a window between 10 o'clock and 1:50 before I have to get my son from school. So then I use that time to list. And like I usually list about 10 items a day, depending on how much inventory I got coming in. And then picking him up at 1:50, I have a little bit of time to spend with him. And I might do a little bit of reselling after that. But most time after that, I'm pretty much done. Then, wife comes home at 6, eat dinner, enjoy our time. And that's pretty much the day.
Yeah.
Now, unless I'm doing a YouTube video, that'll suck up the time between 1:50 and 4, and that might happen 1 or twice a week.
Well, I understand. Like in the afternoon, you're helping your kid with the homework, you're doing laundry, helping to cook dinner. You got stuff going on, so you can't really sit down and edit videos or do. I guess you could shut the door and list some items, but you still got to spend time with your family and all that. So, tell me, man, how many items you have listed now, Casey? You've been growing your store, or how's it been going for you?
I kind of plateaued it. I got up to 930 and I'm back down to like 885, but I really don't want to go above 1,000 just for the so I like keeping a good sell-through rate. Like I like things to sell and I don't want to keep things around too often. So I'm also running into storage space issues too, where I'm not trying to leave my house. So I've rearranged, like my whole garage houses everything but electronics and shoes. So my shoes and electronics are inside the house, and all the golf clubs, sporting, anything that doesn't electronic or shoe is out there. And I am with the amount of stuff, with my personal life and trying to keep a nice house. I actually I'm doing stuff in the house right now, like ripping up floors, new furniture. I'm trying to keep 1,000 listings and small items too, like golf clubs, shoes, electronic video games. So that is no more than 1,000 listings. I'm gonna keep that model too, even with the amount of money I made last year. I'm comfortable with it. So I'm just going, like, this year is looking like it's gonna be better than last year already. And I'm not saying I ain't trying as hard, but I think I just have some things figured out enough to keep the lifestyle I have. I'm kind of satisfied where I'm at.
Yeah, well, that's good. Do you want to tell the audience how you did in sales last year on eBay or no?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I always like hearing people's numbers. I mean, if you see me, I'm always fishing. I'm like, what does it take for like a one person gig to what they do? So last year I did about, I think it was like 100 to 120,000. It was like 120, and that's not profit, but that was the total gross sales from eBay. And I mean, that was mostly golf clubs and shoes and, sporting equipment, mostly, hard goods. I don't sell a lot of clothes or any other crazy stuff. You watch YouTube channel, you see what I sell. And that's about what it's going to be this year. And that's a one-man show with what I got, for storage space. And that's about all I can handle. Like, I was looking at a guy earlier on Instagram. I forgot his name, man. I won't pull him back up. But he was like something stupid. He was doing like $5,000 a day. And he was selling shoes. I'm like, man, he's got to have help. There's no way. Like,
I think you're talking about, was it Maverick Resale or something like that? Yeah. I saw him on Instagram. I know the guy you're talking about. But but the thing is, Casey, is that you don't have a big warehouse, you don't have a lot of employees. It's just you. I mean, I know your wife probably helps out a little bit, but you're doing probably 95% of the work, right?
Yeah, I'm all doing everything, packaging. Like most of the time, it's 10 items a day going out the door, 10 items listed, and them 10 items take sometimes 2 hours. And I hate.
We got a quick question here from Harry. He says he can touch the back of the basketball hoop, but can he dunk? He wants to know if you could dunk the basketball.
Nah, I can't dunk yet. I wish. I mean, I feel like in life, man, like you gotta have something. You have a goal for it. And I'm 36. I mean, last year the goal in 20 and 21, my goal was the YouTube. That was kind of like my goal. Like other than working on eBay. Like, get your 1,000 subscribers, get a monetized channel, which was tough. That was tough to do. I mean, I'm not saying it's tough to get that many hours, and I don't know. I thought that was a good goal to have, and I did it. So now I moved on to this. So the goal now is to dunk the basketball. I am 5'9", 5'10" with shoes, 36 years old, and it's tough. But I have made gains. I couldn't even touch the backboard probably 2-3 months ago. And from the amount of work I put in, I'm probably about 1.5 inches to 2 inches from the rim. And I worked out this morning. I work out a lot doing that. I watch a lot of YouTubes. I'm actually kind of shifted to, a different space too with that. So like if you see my Instagram, it's mixed now. I'm jumping and doing that, and I'm also doing my resale stuff. So that's
really cool. I just wanted to give a quick shout out here to a buddy BK from the Rockies. He says like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hey man, thanks for jumping on and hanging out with us today. I appreciate you, BK. So if you guys have questions for our guests, you could drop it in the chat. So Casey, man, talk to me, man. I think last year you were like pushing and you hit your 1,000 subscribers like while you were on vacation or something, right? So so talk to me a little bit about your YouTube channel. Tell people if they haven't subscribed to your channel yet, tell them about what kind of content you make on YouTube.
Yeah, mostly just resell stuff. You'll see what I find in the thrift stores and what sells on eBay and that I find out in the wild. You'll see a mix of the thrift stores and the garage sales. And I mean, I really like doing the garage sale videos. I mean, you don't see a lot of that during the wintertime. If you look at my channel, most of it trended in the thrift stores. Now going back to garage sale videos. And I try to keep it like, I don't know, I feel like I put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth when I was doing my negotiations. You can tell I was a hard negotiator. I'm not trying to rip people off or anything. I just try to get a good deal. But I'd really just try to, find things cheap and show you how, what they're worth. And sometimes if I sell it before the, before the video's cut, I'll tell you I sold it. So I think it's got good information in there. And then, it's really great to learn. I've gotten a lot of people reached out to me and told me they've learned a lot from watching the channel. And have made a lot of money from it too. So, it makes me happy. Yeah.
Well, people say the Casey's the golf club king. So you sell a lot of golf clubs, and I'm subscribed to your channel. I see you hitting up a lot of yard sales and thrift stores and things like that. So tell people where are the most places that you go sourcing at, and what are some items that you sell the most of, like people need to be on the lookout for?
Yeah, like just mostly thrift stores, garage sales. I stay away from estate sales. My nerves are bad, so I can't stand in line. Like I've done that. That kind of hurts. I do look at Facebook Marketplace like a hawk. I mean, it's very competitive on there. You have to probably refresh your search every 20 minutes, maybe less than that. I mean, you look sometimes if I have a life, I'm sitting there Facebook Marketplace, video game,
Right.
golf club stuff, and stuff I do sell is mostly going to be golf club stuff is definitely probably the number one thing I sell. And then I do look for, multiple sporting equipment items like baseball gloves, baseball bats, tennis rackets. And then we go into the shoe category. I don't really buy a lot of if it's under $15 for shoes or profit, I'm not going to buy it. But if I can make $20 or more on shoes, I'll definitely buy them. Brands like Hoka's or, basketball name shoes with Nike.
Yeah.
The whole, shoes in general. And then I do like looking for little odds and ends like Blank Media, or I can go. I got a bin store 20 minutes from me. I do like sourcing there now. I've done that a lot in the last few months. And I'll find some vintage items in there, clothing. Sometimes I'll find some clothing in there and I'll flip that. But
yeah, so you've been to the bin store a couple times. So tell me, man, I got a quick question. How'd you do? You had a video a while back where you had a big haul of video games, so tons of video games. How'd you end up making out on that deal? Did you do pretty good?
I think I know which one you're talking about. I did, man. That was my biggest haul ever on video games. I probably made like $3,000 off that haul.
Right. But at the time, it doesn't look like it. You know what's funny is somebody else can watch your video and say, oh, that's just a pile of junk. And me and you could see the same video and be like, dude, he's going to make a killing on that deal. So, right. So you scored big on that video game haul. Can you kind of tell people if they're not familiar with golf clubs? Because the question I get all the time is, because I don't sell a lot of golf clubs, but the questions I get is like, tell people how you ship the golf clubs. Where do you find them? And tell them a little bit about what are some of the name brands that we need to be on the lookout for. So if someone's hearing it and they're like, man, Casey did $120,000 in sales on eBay as a one-man crew. I'm not even doing half of that, and I'm working my tail off. Maybe I can learn a few things. So tell them a little bit about where do you find them at? How do you do the shipping? And what are the name brands that we need to be on the lookout for?
Yeah, definitely. I'd tell you first too, if you're going to sell golf clubs, you probably need to know, you probably want to go play golf. Sorry, my dog wanted to get in the picture there. She's trying to jump on my lap. So I would say go play golf first. Get an idea on what, the sport's about, like what clubs, like you got woods and drivers and putters, and just kind of get the feel for that first and get a couple rounds under your belt. Then you kind of know, because when you sell golf clubs, it's kind of, I don't know, it's different from selling those other items, I think. Like you have to really know a little bit about what you're doing, like the measurements of the clubs, the lofts. There's a lot of little things that go on. So I would do that first. And then like you're asking what names to be on the lookout for. I mean, there's a lot of names. So you look out for all the name brands are Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping, Callaway, Mizuno, Nike, Wilson Staff. Like as long as it says Wilson Staff on there. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I know Harry's in there talking about Scotty Cameron. He found a big old bag of clothes for him. Not big old bag. He had a haul that was free. And he got
really
cameras, but Scotty Cameron putters can be worth, hundreds and thousands of dollars, depending on the model you get. You also look out for Odyssey; they make putters. That's a good brand to pick up. You got some oddball stuff too, like I'm trying to think because there's some oddball names like Wishon Golf. Wishon's a good name. And then you got I think something else.
Yeah, but I mean, you sell like kids golf clubs, adults, men's, women's, all that stuff, and you can kind of after you've done it for a while, you can kind of walk into a yard sale or a thrift store and spot it from a mile away. So, is there anything in particular? Do you just have to go and look them up individually? Because it's not like a video game or something with a barcode where you could just walk by and scan the barcode. You just need to go by and get used to looking up the different name brands. So, because do you say, okay, I see this golf club for $2, $3 at the thrift store, and it's going to sell for 50 or 60? Like, what kind of margins do you typically look for?
It all depends a lot on that question. Like, for one, like if I go in thrift store, I do look for the name, all those names I just mentioned. I'll look for that, and then if it's like a single iron, like a 5-iron, I'm probably gonna leave it. That's gonna be a $10, depending on the year, make, and model of the club. Like if the model year is a little high, then I'll pick it up. But older model single irons don't sell that well. I try to keep the margin of $15 or more on profit. I won't lie, the competition has gone up a lot in the last couple of years for golf clubs. So I don't find them as much as I used to in the thrift stores. I will find them at the garage sales. But I mean, it just depends. I know it comes with experience, I think. Like, because, average reseller that doesn't do golf clubs, they're going to probably want to sit there and look it up. And that takes a little bit of time. And then if you're at a yard sale, that can get that would be like me trying to look up something I don't know anything about, like pots and pans. Like I don't know brands on that. And I'm
Right.
sure people that know that they're worth lots of money, and it wouldn't hurt my heart at all to leave it there because I don't know what I'm doing. And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Let's say with golf, I mean, golf clubs, I feel comfortable listing it, selling it. If I get some kind of backlash from a seller, I know how to cover myself or make them happy. So that's
Right.
what it comes full circle with the experience of that. But I mean, it's not. I mean, if someone rewatches this live, they can write down those names I just threw out there. You can go in the thrift store and you see that. Just look it up. I mean, there's always Callaway. And then they'll say something like Big Birthdays. Type that in and look up the iron number, the wood, and there's sold comps up and down for it. I mean, they sell pretty good they sell year round, and then they sell very well from now till probably December. I have a downtrend between right after Christmas till about, I don't know, late February, early March. So right now I've been picking up a little bit on golf clubs.
Yeah. So Casey, how did you do? You had that big haul of golf clubs a while back. Like, and you filled up like your whole car with golf clubs. Did you make out pretty good on that?
I did, man. I don't even know which haul you're talking about. There was a bunch of hauls with that. But
Well, you had one where you was like you went to the place and then you came back and then the lady had just came out and you had asked them if this was for sale and they said yeah, and you didn't even know if it's for sale or not. And it was like a whole garage full of like golf clubs.
You know what? That was I think I was in Columbia. That's I was thrifting up there around.
Yeah.
That's Evan Flippy McFlipperson was around there too. Actually, he was at my computer's in there. He was at that sale before me, and then he didn't know they were for sale. But yeah, I mean that was probably $1,000 to $2,000 deal for $100. I didn't even know it was I didn't know that all that was in there. Like I gave the lady $100, and then it was a lot of money. There was some rare stuff in there. I mean, you never know too when you get a big haul like that. You'll never know until you look it all up. And it's like, wow. I mean, this putter's worth like $50. This one's worth $100. I mean, there was a lot of expensive stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, that's always nice. Sometimes you just take a gamble and say, all right, I spent $100 on all this inventory. We're gonna turn $100 into like $2,000. So yeah, sometimes you hit. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, unless you were out there looking and knocking on doors and going to these different, yard sales or estate sales and stuff, you wouldn't know these deals are out there. You're just like, all right, I'll take all of them. So I wanted to say hey to Nina J is here in the chat. Wanted to say hey to Designs by Josie. Says left or right-handed women versus kids composites. Says if they are lower cost and I'll get a set and set it that way. I do because I play golf and I would stay away from that without knowledge. Well, it's funny because me and Casey could probably go to the same thrift store and both of us come out with shopping cart of stuff and it'd be totally different merchandise, or because we source different niches of stuff. So, hey, Casey, man, talk to me real quick. What is some advice that you would have maybe to a newer reseller or someone that wants to grow and scale their business? If they're like, man, I really would like to get to the point where I could quit my job, or I would like to get to the point where I'm doing $120,000 a year like Casey did last year in reselling. What are some things that I need to be working on or things that I need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would first start out by having a good financial plan. Like you'd want to have like a 6 months emergency fund backup. And you would want to have like all your debts paid off before you made that plunge, because this is almost even more than 100% commission job here. I mean, you don't never. So 100% commission jobs are sales jobs where you go out there and you sell but you normally working for somebody. Here you're working for yourself, and you got to go out there and find it and sell it and flip it. So before you even do all that, you need the Dave Ramsey bulletproof financial freedom plan in place, and then. I mean, like say starting out beginner, you want to make sure your businesses can sustain the amount of money you need. You need the profits to sustain your bills, not your paychecks. So that way, that, okay, well, I can do this every month, and then I can probably quit my job. And then so I would plan your escape after that if you want to go this route. And then once you're in the full-time reselling, I mean, that other stuff you did that built that base, I mean, it pretty much gives you confidence to go forward. I mean, there's 10 thrift stores and there's going to be garage sales. I mean, you got to be around a place that has all that too. I mean, if you're living in a, rural, rural area where you can't get access to stuff, it's not going to work out. I mean, I know I'm living in the Charleston area. So, I mean, I've got 10 thrift stores. There'll be a garage sale every weekend. There's the Facebook marketplace, people moving in and out every day, and they're selling stuff cheap.
Yeah.
So I'm able to jump on deals that, I mean, like anytime I want. So it's not saying it's easy for me, but it's not as hard as if you live in a rural area. So you want to make sure you have that, in your, in your hand as well. But yeah, that's pretty much, I think, for a beginner to look at. I mean, that's a bulletproof way to do it. That's the way I did it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get out of debt or reduce your expenses, that would help. Tell people your story of how you got started in reselling real quick, Casey.
Yeah, my neighbor kind of got me into it a little bit more than I used to. I've been on eBay. I mean, eBay's been around for a while, so I've sold on eBay and bought stuff. But no, when I moved to my house, my neighbor, he brought over a putter one time and just told me like he sold it on eBay for $600, a ping putter. I was like, man, how much you pay for it? And he's like $3 at a garage sale. I was like, what?
Right.
And I knew he was going to garage sales, but I was laughing at him the whole time. Like, man, you waste your gas going thrifting. I literally thought he was wasting gas going to Goodwills and garage sales. I'm like, man, I'm going to go to my 9 to 5, make my check. I'm good. But I did finally start hitting some, scores in the Goodwills. I kept getting curious and looking things up and seeing how the system worked. So, and most of it was golf club related. Like I literally was just like, well, I'm going to do this. I learned this first. And then I think in 2018 is when I started looking on YouTube for stuff. And, there wasn't a whole lot of resellers on YouTube. There was a lot, but not a whole lot. But I was watching Rake and Profit and the Craigslist Hunter guy. And I started venturing out my comfort zone and, learning different items and then going to garage sales and just kind of getting my feet wet. And I was a pretty good negotiator already. So getting deals at low cost and then, buy low, sell high. That's an easy model there. And then as long as the stuff is, got a good sell-through rate on eBay. I mean, that's an easy tool to use on your phone. So that's pretty much how I started from 18 into 19. And then 20, I got fired from a job because of the COVID deal. And then we moved on to full-time, which I already had my, like I said, basis of like a backup, for financial, for the financial situation.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it. It took 3 years to get to a full-time. So starting, buy low, sell high, just and have a good financial background, and it was off to the races.
Yeah, when you talk to your wife about it, was she supporting you when you're like, hey, I think I'm just going to do this eBay thing full time? Would your wife support you, or do you guys talk about it? How'd that go?
Yeah, she was cool with it. I mean, she knew I'd already had all the check marks checked off for being able to sustain this to pay the bills. Where our budget was. I mean, I didn't really. I mean, I'm not. I worried a little bit in 2020 because everything was shut down. So I did worry a little bit that time, but coming out of it a little bit and the garage sale started back up. I mean, it really started clicking, especially last year. But 2020, the COVID deal sucked. I mean, like I had no way. There was no garage sales. There was no thrift stores open. And I just became a full-time reseller, not by, I got fired. And I was already scared. I was like, man, I'm glad I got a job because, I mean, things were hitting the fan at that time. But the stock market had crashed. I had funds that dropped. I mean, I got money in there too. And I was just looking at some big dips. And I was sweating. And so I was finding stuff on the side of the road, flipping it. Like, I never forget. Like, people would post on Facebook, I just do all this to the side of the road. I go pick it up. I don't care if it was books, toys. I didn't care. I was going to sell it. So
right. Well, that's cool. Let me give a quick shout out here to Zach is here in the chat. Utah bought and gone. And Harry Humstone says it's not quitting your job, it's liberating your life. If you guys have questions for our guests, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat. I want to give a quick shout out here to my buddy Cali reseller Louise. You think he just had a birthday yesterday, so I wanted to wish you a late happy birthday. So, Casey, man, tell me, what are some of your goals that you have this year for 2022, bro? You got your YouTube channel monetized now, finally, right?
Yeah. That happened, I think, last year around October, I think. August. No, it was August. I got it monetized where I got the hours in. But, I mean, as far as YouTube goals, I mean, I don't really have any big ones, like far as like trying to have a financial mark or a subscriber mark. I mean, I have other things going on. I did put a lot of time in that, and that does take a lot of time to do. So the goal with that is just kind of just keep it going. And, one video a week, keeping it real too. And I'm not trying to fluff anything. Like everything you see is real. There's no fake sales or no. Like it's just I'm turning the camera. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time editing. I'm just gonna show you what I find and know what I sold, and hopefully you can learn from it. And like I said, I spend about 2 to 4 hours a week editing those videos and try to film stuff I find. And then as far as the eBay, like I said, I'm capped out on where I want to be at right now. Like if I could do that 6-figure number again, I'm pretty happy with that. And then just trying to keep everything organized, stay on pace with just what I did last year. And then, like Harry was mentioning about dunking the basketball, that's the goal. Like physically, I have a fitness goal of touching the rim and dunking a basketball. I don't have a certain time frame for it, but pretty much like lined up to be very satisfied. I mean, I'm going on vacation again too this year, same time frame, same place. So
were you going to be going back down here in Florida again?
Yeah.
When you come down in town, man, hit me a message on Instagram. I don't like to bother you because I know you're on vacation with your family, but it'd be cool if we can meet up and go grab a bite to eat for dinner or something. Because I got a place in Sarasota now. So if you so if you're gonna be in the neighborhood, you send me a message on Instagram. We can meet up and grab a bite to eat for dinner or something, man. Yeah, man. I know we're both busy and we have different schedules and everything, but that would be cool.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. The thing is with you is like you're on vacation and you're still outsourcing. So
I'm gonna go back to Anna Maria Island. I like the beach bumming around there, man. We got a house down there. I'm gonna beach bum for a few days, but I'm gonna head out to Bradenton, Sarasota area. And there's some good thrift stores out there, so I'm gonna go.
I got an apartment right down there in Siesta Key, so we'll be in the same neighborhood as you, bro. So just send me a message. Yeah, right down there on the beach, bro. You said you're a beach bum now. That's cool, man. So
I'm jealous. Yeah. I would move there in a minute, man, if I could. That is
well, you know what? Once your kids graduate, they get out of high school and they graduate, you could get you a little place down there, man. Because my thing is, I was up in Kentucky forever, and I was just like, man, it's freezing cold 6 months out of the year. I'm ready to be down somewhere nice and warm, where it's like, 10 minutes from the beach, like walking distance, you could get there and go to the beach, go to the ocean when you want to. But that's kind of what we're talking about now is how you left your full-time job and now you get to, work, be your own boss, make up your own work schedule, and grow your eBay store. So that way you can be like, hey, kid, family, we're all going on vacation. We're going to the beach down in Bradenton, Sarasota for a week, or we're going to go to Disney World. And you have the ability to do that as opposed to having to go to your boss or supervisor and say, hey, I need a week off for vacation and having to go down this whole checklist and stuff. And so I'm happy for you, bro. Yeah, and you come down here, you'll come back and you'll have a tan, bro. You'll have like the farmer's tan going on, right?
I've been through all that too, man.
I know.
Like I'm trying to stay humble here. It's like, man, I'm telling you, I lost a lot of my years of my 20s working for somebody. Like I regretted it so bad because the potential was there. You just have to do it. But man, I've been working since I was 16. I'm telling you, there were so many employers that took my Saturdays away from me. Like I wanted this off, and no, you can't have it. Like there was no spoon fed moment for me. Like it literally, like I remember. A lot of people do. They know. You work on weekends, work on days, holidays. And like I thrive to quit a job. Now my last job wasn't too bad, the one I got fired from. But I was at that job for like 2 years. Prior to that, I wrote notes to myself on how I hated my jobs and how I wanted to. In fact, I went back to school to be a teacher so I could have the summers off one time, but I didn't follow through on that. So I'm telling you, that's how bad I hated having a job. And hearing you talk about, I had the freedom to do this. I don't take that for granted by no means, because I remember those days. I remember getting up early, and I remember going to do those higher ups and, hey, can I get this off? And because I want to go do this, I'm like, well, so and so asked for that off, so no. It's like, damn.
Right. I remember when I was working my union job, everything was by seniority, and even if you told them 2 weeks or a month in advance that you needed, that week off, and it was, some family function or your kid's birthday or whatever, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, so and so has 2 weeks seniority over you, so you can't get up that day off. And then it's like, then you have to decide, like, okay, am I going to get rolled up? Am I going to get points on my attendance? Like, Am I going to take a vacation day, personal day? And you're trying to do all that. And now you're just like, all right, let's hop in the car. Let's go. And, you said your wife works, I think you said she works 4 days now as a nurse. Yeah. And you're able to kind of do your eBay business. So what would be like your top 2 or top 3 biggest tips or piece of advice to help somebody if they want to be in your shoes where you're at now? They have a job, they don't like their dead-end job, and they want to become a full-time reseller, because you said you did 120,000 of it, and I'm thinking in my head you had to make at least 75, 80,000 of that, because you have to take out your cost of goods, you have to take out your your eBay fees and your expenses, but you probably had to net at least 75, 80,000 of that. And there are people, Casey, that went to college for 4 years to get a degree that aren't making probably what you're making, just shooting YouTube videos and posting stuff on eBay.
It was a 50% margin. I'll tell you, it was probably like 50 or 60. But I mean, and then I had the taxes on top of that too, which it's all different for different people too. So I know, like, I have 2 kids, tons of write-offs. That's another thing too about owning a resale business. Like, you have tons of write-offs. I'm not a CPA, but then you do this job. I mean, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's better than being an employee. Like, I used to listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I always talk about you're an employee and you losing and the employer's winning and blah blah blah. And I used to think, like, he's nuts, and then he wasn't lying. Like, he was. You know what I'm talking about? The Rich Dad Poor Dad guy, Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. I used to read books, man. But I mean, top 3 tips and advice would be, I do coach a few people with eBay reselling. One's trying to do this himself. He's trying to become a full-time reseller. And I mostly tell him, I talk to him a lot, almost every day. I tell him, one thing you will have to do is you have to pay off all your debts, and you will have to have a 6-month backup plan. I mean, you need, like, I don't know, it depends on your living, but you need at least 10 grand in the bank, and you need to have all your debt paid off, other than your mortgage, your housing, and then student loans. I mean, I get that. Everybody's got, like, student loans. I don't have student loans or anything, but just saying, like, I know that's like the financial situation, get that under wraps would be tip number 1. And tip number 2 is have a running machine here. Like, you need to, to know that what you're selling, that it sells good, and you have it flowing before you're a full-time eBay reseller in general. And 3, I think is important, but it's very important, is patience. Like, I have a hard time with it, but I've learned that wins. Like, don't just go buy something because you can't find anything, and I'm just going to buy it. Because that's like, you find something in Goodwill, and the sell-through rate's like, you got 5 people got it listed and 3 sold in the last month. I don't know, that's kind of good. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, sell-through rate's terrible. But one did sell within the last 2 months, and it's $5. And you ain't finding nothing, so I'm going to buy that anyway. And I've done it so many times. And it sits, and it sits, and it sits. Because you weren't patient. And you got your capital tied up in one item, and you could have went and probably found a better item somewhere if you were patient. So I've learned that, and that's kicked me in the butt a lot. But if you can just be patient, like, I'm being patient right now. I could have went sourcing today. I did go sourcing today, but not like sourcing. Like, I go out 6 Goodwills and try to find stuff. But there's going to be a garage sales this weekend. So, like, well, I'll just hold my money. I'll spend money there. Even at the garage sales, if I don't find if I don't have a good garage sale weekend, there's always next weekend. There's always going to be another one. So I try not to get so tied up in that.
Yeah, that's true. Is that, you don't want to just spend money just for the sake of spending money. Like, if you go somewhere and let's say you spent $20 on an item that's, ends up being dead stock, where you could have took that same capital and kind of split it up and could have got something else that had a higher sell-through rate or had higher profit margins. So I wanted to give a quick shout out here to Phoenix Slippers is in the chat. Says mostly golf clubs. So tell them what are most of the items that you sell, and what kind of profit margins you typically look for.
Well, Matt knows. Matt follows my channel a lot. He's like other than you. He's like my number 1 comment.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm there. I'm there to support you from the beginning, Casey, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I always see a comment from him. I appreciate it. It does help. It does. But
the algorithm, right?
Yeah, Matt's there too. I appreciate it, Matt. He's out there in Arizona, but yeah, he knows mostly golf clubs, and he sees, the golf clubs they do sell pretty good. The margin's usually about, I don't know. I'm usually picking up $4 or less, and I'm selling for $20 or more. So always making 50% or more on the. I mean, we can make a lot if I end up really getting buying a big bulk lot. So it can be really good.
Yeah. Well, hey Casey, man, I know you said you got stuff going on with your kids and your family, so I don't want to keep you on much too longer. But tell everybody where they can go by and check you out on YouTube and Instagram, so they can go by and follow you.
Yeah, check it out. Channel's still up there, Carolina Thrifter. Like I said, I post about one video a week. I don't think I'm gonna get a video out this week. I didn't have the garage sales got rained out last weekend, so I don't have any videos. And then you go on Instagram, and I am still the Carolina Hustler. It's Carolina Hustler 843 on Instagram. So I post not daily, but I post like a lot of my finds there, and then you'll see some fitness updates on my goal for trying to dunk a basketball. I'm gonna get there, man.
Oh man, that's funny, but yeah, I mean, it's important, I guess, to take care of your health and and have other hobbies and stuff. So, hey, Casey, do you have any words of wisdom or words of encouragement? Do you have any final thoughts you could leave our audience with today?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, just do what you love. I mean, go out your passion. This is not for everybody. So, I mean, I get like some people, it's not built for reselling, but if you do have a passion like I did and don't want to work for somebody and you're looking for that opportunity, the reselling business is there. And then I would recommend, checking out a YouTube channel, not just mine, just go around, figure out what sells best for yourself, and then get comfortable with it. And then, do what makes you happy, and then just try to relax, be patient, and have a good life,
Yeah, I just want to point out that Casey didn't just start off his very first week or 2 weeks into resale business. It took him like 3 years from kind of working his full-time job, doing reselling kind of part-time on the side before he got to the point where he felt comfortable. Where it's like, okay, my debt's paid off. I have emergency fund in the bank. Like it was like a progression from you going to working your 9-to-5 job where you're like, all right, I'm out 2 weeks notice and I'm leaving. I'm doing my own thing. And now you kind of get to be your own boss and make up your own work schedule to being a full-time reseller. So if you were just now watching this, like, oh man, I'm going to go get, start selling stuff on eBay and quit my job right away. Like there's levels to this, and you can make a little bit of progress. It doesn't just happen overnight, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of people do that too. I'm like, oh, back up, man. Let's check the check box off for a minute here. Let's be real. So
yeah,
you're right. I mean, it might not take 3 years. Could take you a year. It could take you 6 months. I mean, it depends on your financial situation, how fast you can make money at it, and what you're comfortable with. But that's how long it took me. It was 3 years. I could have done it probably beforehand. Before that, I was stuck to that job. I was like, the security. I get it. You got your 401s, you got you got insurance, you got all these securities that draw you there. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I like it on this side. I don't think I've had even my old bosses call me up wanting me to come back because the whole deal where everybody had a hard time getting employees.
Yeah,
call me back and they say, hey man, we'd love to have you back. I'm like, come on, I'm not coming back. Like, I know, we're just gonna try. We're hurting. Like my boss brother lives down the street and I see him all the time, and it's the inner me getting the last laugh. And I feel bad for him sometimes, but I mean, sometimes it does feel good to be on that side. Like, well, y'all the ones messed up. You should have fired the whole plant, because of COVID. Yeah. You think the whole country was going to shut down forever? Come on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, guys. So anyways, I have all the links down below. You go by and follow my buddy here, Casey, the Carolina Thrifter. Follow him on YouTube and Instagram. All the links are going to be down below. If you guys want to come hang out, I will be a guest tonight with Derek and Regina for the Hump Day Hangout. So I will be on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you guys want to jump on and hang out. If you want to come hang out with us or ask me questions, I'll be on there tonight. So we're going to have fun. It'll be 9 o'clock Eastern on Regina's channel. I will have the link listed in the community section. You guys can come by and hang out. So till then, I will see you guys later. You go ahead and follow our guest. The Carolina Thrifter is here. And yeah, one more thing I want to add is that if you're busy and you don't have time to read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, listen to like an audio book. They have tons of audio books on YouTube where you can just run around the city and do your errands, do what you got to do, and then we have an audio book or something in the background. So anyways, you guys have a great day. I will catch you guys in the next video. Go follow our guest, Casey, the Carolina Thrifter. We're trying to get him 2,000 subscribers, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. See you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Peace out. See y'all.